noon kickoff right here in town. Georgia Tech taking on Clemson, and going back to ESPN's FPI, they give Tech almost a 56% chance to win this game. 55.9%, Chris, to be exact.
I'm sure that's a real number in some world, just not in mine.
They're one of those bubble teams that ESPN.com talked about in a recent article because, as Dusty Dvorak from ESPN told us prior to the Colorado game, if they win this game, as far as Vegas is concerned, they are going to be on the good side of the spread.
This is a really good team. And I think if Haynes King stays healthy, which has been an issue, let's just go down the schedule, guys. I mean, where are the games that we don't think Georgia Tech will potentially be favored in? Clemson? Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I get that. Georgia? Okay. After that, where are the games? By the way, Clemson and Georgia are going to be there in the city of Atlanta. I like that aspect. I look at this schedule. They're a 5-point favorite on the road at Colorado this week. I think they're going to be favored in 10 to 12 games.
Now, they're not favored in this game. We talked about the line, the Tennessee-Georgia line being strange. This line opened at 7.5. It jumped all the way up to nearly 10 points, and now it's all the way down to 3.5.
Well, that's the Haynes King factor, I'm assuming?
I guess.
Because it didn't sound like he's not playing, although Brent Key's not telling you whether he's playing.
Why
would he tell you?
It's not going to give you the satisfaction.
I'll tell you the greatest thing I think about it is they have two quarterbacks to look at on tape. They knew that both existed, but both have played already this year. And the idea of the pass, look, at the end of the day, you could run a little bit of trickery. What if you put Philo in and don't throw the football? Like, what if you actually, as you said, put both of them on the field at the same time?
Remember the Miami game, Philo ran a couple of those Haynes King plays.
That's right.
Because everybody was sitting back on that Miami defense. Brent Key, 3-0 against the spread as a home dog since the start of 23. Clemson 4-5 against the spread with 3 outright defeats over that same period. So some would say they are ripe for the picking.
You know what they're also doing? They're fighting for their life. You know, Clemson they're not a wounded dog because they won that game
They've
last
not been good offensively 2 weeks in a row.
No. And they suffered a loss. You know, I don't know if they were 58%. I don't know if LSU was 65%. It was a great talking point for Dabo because it became a talking point for everybody else. But they're fighting for their lives. You know, I know the first one wasn't a conference game. This one is. But 2 losses, and all of a sudden, you know what people are going to do? They're not going to give you... If Clemson loses this week, doesn't matter if it's by 1, 7, 8, whatever it might be, they're not going to get the benefit of the doubt going forward. Like, you're 1 and 2. You're not going to be a team that people go, but just wait. They're going to be... I don't think they're going to get that type of love.
Now, yesterday, Brent Key, some are going to tell you it was performance art because he was very, very short with the media yesterday. It was not going to give you the satisfaction.
So this was Andy Warhol with a tomato soup can saying, genius, isn't it?
So we were able to put together a montage of Brent Key answering questions yesterday during his press conference. That's how short it was.
Could you update kind of where Haynes is at and just how he's feeling going into this week?
Yeah, it looks good, feels good. We'll make determination this weekend.
Is there any extra weight that you put into a game like this, knowing that the eyes of the country potentially are on this, saying that, hey, Georgia Tech could be a serious contender this year?
No. Every game's a challenge, and this is the next challenge, and it's a big one.
When you got the chance to look at them just via tape, just what's caught your eye so far?
Yeah, they're a good football team, and we're excited to play them. All right, thank y'all. Go Jackets.
Now, I've got a theory here. Let's make it all about me right now and how I'm reacting to everything so everybody will stop talking about the team. All the heat I wanted on me this week. Don't worry about anything else, guys. You handle what you have to handle. I'll take the heat. I'll be the jerk this week. That's why it's performance art. That's what he's trying to do. That's my theory. Not basing that on anything. It's my theory. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just thought he was sort of November annoyed. I'm tired of doing this. Yeah, we know it's Clemson. We know it's a big game. What would you like me to do? Would you like me to urinate on myself? Would you like me to tell me we're all pissing our pants around here?
I think at the end of our conversation with him on Monday, we may have inadvertently planted the seed when we asked him about the losing streak and the margin of the losses against Clemson.
Maybe.
When he answered our question with a question, do you think I care? I think then the seed was planted, and as a result, everybody yesterday paid the price. Again, just another theory that I have.
What you're saying was a character was born right at that moment with Brent Key for at least Clemson.
I mean, he pulled a Belichick. Bill Belichick in his prime would have been proud of what Brent Key did yesterday. Would he not have been?
Yeah, look, I think, again, he wasn't going to play the shock and awe. Oh, it's Clemson? Is that this week? I just don't think he wants to play this week.
Now,
I don't think you're wrong. But I just also believe, like, I think he's waiting for people to go, man, this is such a big deal, isn't it? As if he's going to tell you, yeah, do you believe this?
Now, was it easier for him to play that role because of that? Yes, without question. All of the stars were aligned for Brent Key to put forth that performance, that award-winning performance, might I add, yesterday.
You know what would have been great? If he would have bowed right at the end before he left the podium.
Thank you. I will now exit stage left. So Key knows what it's like to lose. 42-21 as a head coach to Clemson, and as their offensive line coach, he watched Tech lose 52-14, 73-7. One game was close, 14-8 and 41-10. One of those games, correct me if I'm wrong, one of those games that was the game where they were lifting weights on the sidelines. And at that point, I got to let you go. At that point, you got to go. You got my players. I'm the AD. You got my players, and they are my players because it's my administration.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah. I had a buddy ask me about that. Like, he
We're not exaggerating if you don't know.
Nick, you got to understand, he cares less about college football than anything. He's a gambler, so we'll gamble college football. But he's not like in the ins and outs. He'd rather gamble on NFL games. He'd rather gamble on NBA games. When he heard about this, he was like, what, huh? I was like, yeah, no, it really did happen. Like, he even thought that was, for a guy who doesn't even, like, follow it, he knew how ridiculous that was. Like, as in, oh, man, I wish I would have known that. I would have bet against them.
They're doing
like,
CrossFit before a Clemson game.
That's a bettor's mentality. Oh, I wish I would have known that. That sounds like a loser thing.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you saw that, you knew they had no chance. Here's Dabo Swinney on what Tech puts forth offensively.
Put a lot of strain on you defensively. There's multiple options on every snap. They're going to put it in their best players' hands. So, they got between their quarterback and 0 and 1, those guys really strain you. They're going to touch the ball early, often, in a lot of different ways, whether it's from the backfield, jet sweeps. Then they've done a nice job with some guys on the perimeter that they brought in there that have the ability to make some big plays, too.
Now, for whatever it's worth, On3 Sports did report yesterday that Haynes King was a full go at practice, and he's tracking to be a full participant in Saturday afternoon's game.
I'm Brent Key.
I'm telling you what On3 Sports said.
I'm going to be Brent Key now. You didn't hear that from me.
No, didn't hear it from me either. I'm just telling you what people are reporting, and we know what this means. Dabo Swinney talks about big picture of what this game's about.
Got a huge challenge in Georgia Tech. This is a big game for both teams. Obviously, we're getting into conference play and our first road test. So also a rivalry game. Clemson and Georgia Tech's one of the older ones. They've been going on for a long time. Always fun to be a part of this game. Been a lot of great ones over the years, and we're thankful for this opportunity.
You want to really establish yourself, and you still have to win the other games. I get that, but you really want to put yourself on the map and get noticed as a team. Georgia Tech needs to win this game. That's how you do it.
Yes, this is the opposite. I told you, Clemson's not going to get any love. They lose this game. It doesn't matter how you lose it. They're just not going to get benefit of the doubt. If Georgia Tech wins the game, you know what people are going to go?
It doesn't matter how they win the game either.
Right. Oh, okay. Maybe it is a little bit different. Because this, I agree, this would be maybe it is a little bit different right now. You send Clemson away into that hole of 2 losses in your first 3 games, and you elevate yourself, not just in the conference, but at that point, and look, I don't care.
I'm not going to look at the rest of the schedule like John Michaels was doing this morning, saying, oh, you should win that game, Boston College, you can't lose to them. You lost to them last year. I'm not assuming anything, especially in today's day and age in college football, but you're in a great spot if you beat Clemson on Saturday. Let's put it that way.
I'm not going to go crazy about the polls, even though I heard, and I'm going to say it, that was just dopey. What that woman was trying to put out there was just dopey. It didn't make any sense.
You're better off not saying anything.
You made it worse. And when
Speak
you say,
from experience there, when you step in it, sometimes it's better not to say anything.
And when you say
make it worse when you do.
When like is part of your, drives me insane.
Just say you didn't see the game. You didn't know. Fall on the sword. Just be honest. I mean, obviously she didn't see the game. There's no other way to say it.
All that being said, there's no way that Tech's not a top 25 team. So if that matters to you, here's what if you need to be in the top 25 or feel the need to be in the top 25, beat Clemson. You're going to be in the top 25. You're just going to have enough votes to be in the top 25.
So
if that matters to you 3 weeks into the season, beat Clemson.